good morning, and welcome to another Reckless Friday edition of the Morning Coffee or Tea with Gally and Cozzy. I'm here in Massachusetts, like Tim likes to do. It's fucking cold, but it's not as cold as it would be had Liverpool conceded either in the last second or first 5 minutes of that match yesterday. Because I gotta say, Cozzy, we will get to the match and we'll get through all of it. Very, very, very much a tale of two halves, and also maybe a tale of slight tactical change, but maybe more of a plan. And this was the plan. And you're a firm believer in giving your opinions, Alan. Good morning. And I always appreciate that you stick to your guns, even when a result changes. You will adapt with it. As you watch it. We disagreed on why he might have been doing what they were doing. In the moment, I was just as frustrated. After you've let it kind of marinate over you 12, 14 hours, whatever it's been. What is your feeling this morning regarding the point earned compared to the performance, what we saw, what he had on offer? I mean, let's be real. The coach had his hands tied yesterday. He didn't have much to choose from. But that we've seen that when he had a lot to choose from, and he doesn't usually alter too much what he chooses. So how are you feeling today, 12, 14 hours later, whatever it is, since the last ball was kicked?
Listen, the point is a great point. No one's arguing that. It's a great point. You know what I mean? If you would have offered me a clean sheet before the game, I would have taken it. So, of course, there's a lot of positives. I've now thought about it a lot. I think the first half, which I was super frustrated with, is I think they were expecting an onslaught from Arsenal that didn't come.
I think they thought they had to hold off the first 20 minutes and the last 20 minutes, and they'd reserve some energy in between, and then they got to 20 and went, who are we playing? We playing Burnley?
I mean, listen, Arsenal had chances. Arsenal did have decent chances in the game, which they felt like they probably should have scored, and that's fine. But I just think they were probably expecting a little bit more. I think the Bradley chance spooked Arsenal a little bit, where they went, oh, fuck, they can score. And that kind of spooked them. Because I thought Liverpool were pretty good the last 10 of the first half, and then the second half I thought we were very, very good in the game. I think it's been blown out of proportion a little bit about how good we were.
I agree.
Liverpool don't have a shot on target all game. So that's a problem. I mean, you can sit there, say a striker all you like and things like that. I think there was definitely opportunity, especially just outside the box, where Liverpool could have been better with their strikes, including Gravenberch and Szoboszlai, at least, where they're just hitting the first man and stuff like that. But Liverpool were very, very good. And they grafted. They worked hard, and they've done the bare minimum what I expect out of my football team, which is a massive positive going forward. But Gal, I've said this before, and I will say it again. It sounds showing up for Arsenal away. I need you to show for Burnley at all.
Yeah. No, you got to back it up.
But I don't want you just to win against Burnley now. I want to see that performance for 90 minutes against Burnley. Because, yes, you've run your legs off into the ground. He didn't make a sub. I know he made Gomez, but anyway, last minute.
He had no choice. Guy's getting stretchered off. He would not have made that sub had there been no injury.
My point is, though, Gal, right? Now most of you boys are probably going to get 8 days off before you kick a ball again. I need to see that performance again. The 45.
Yep.
I need to see goals. I need to see chances, because the one thing that's happening at Anfield at the moment, it is boring football. It is boring. The Leeds game was absolutely dreadful.
Yep.
I need that performance all the time. I need shots on target. I need chances. Hopefully FTK's back for that game. And then hopefully you can kind of have a look at what you want to do with, for example, like Rio, for example, if he gets 90 against Barnsley and all this kind of stuff, does he get minutes and things like that? But it is positive, Gal. It is super positive, especially the last 45. And it's full credit to the manager as well. I mean, to say this all the time, when the manager does good, I'll fucking praise him.
No, and we do that, I think, pretty balanced every Friday. We were two of the ones, and I know we went at it a little bit too. There have been some mistakes at times, but we were all over Konate early in the season. He's still making some mistakes, and I do, to your Burnley point,
Yeah.
I want to see him show up and play as well against Burnley as he shows up and plays at Inter Milan in the Champions League on a Champions League night, or he plays against, like, he was up for that yesterday. Now, part of it is he was literally going up against a brick wall who can't. It's easy to win all your battles when you're going up against Victor Gyökeres. I mean, literally, they took him off, and I thought to myself, wow, they're bringing on Gyökeres. And then I went, oh, wait, he's been playing for 64 minutes.
I made the joke yesterday. I made the joke yesterday about Konate. He reminds me of the Simon Mignolet centre-halves. When he's active in a game, he's fucking great because he's active. But when he's just standing there for 60 minutes and then there's one pass that he'll just make a mistake and switch off. And that's what he feels like to me. But he was very good yesterday. He was very, very good. I thought he's been steadily improving the last 3-4 games, and we have to give credit there. But I thought yesterday was very, very good. And again, but I thought it was McAllister's best game for months. I thought McAllister.
Yeah, I was a little frustrated when I saw him picked. I thought, over Jones. But then I thought to myself, and I'll be the first to raise my hand, my argument was I've watched McAllister come in off the bench cold and give you nothing for the last 20 minutes and looked like his legs were even worse because he sat for the first 70. So I thought maybe the manager said to himself, should this be a 1-goal game, or God forbid, we have a lead, even, or if we're in a 0-0, I want to have an option like Curtis Jones to bring on. And it felt like he was almost saying to himself, I got nothing on this bench that I'm really comfortable with. Yeah. I'm going to have a guy that I would play anywhere on the pitch over everyone else I have, and also play McAllister in. Good on the manager from the fact that he has been steadfast with giving McAllister confidence. And good on McAllister yesterday for probably giving us the most complete performance he's given since last March.
No, I thought Madrid the whole this season he was very good.
He was very good against Madrid, but I mean that was a one-off match itself where it felt like.
Yeah, he's only thrown probably two performances in since March last year. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. And listen, he was great, and again, all the lads, mate. Gals, footy can be hard. You go through moments in seasons or in times in your career where it's not all plain sailing, and there's going to be tough moments. And Liverpool are in a bit of a tough moment and they're grinding. But the minimum you want to see, Gal, is a bit of fucking fight and a bit of hard work and a bit of endeavour and a bit of smartness when it comes to passing and when it comes to getting out. And I thought Liverpool in the second half showed all that. They showed all that. And that's the minimum requirement, isn't it? That we want to see. So I just feel like, and again, I thought Frimpong was very good, but his final ball, mate, Jesus Christ. Do you know what I mean? Frimpong's final ball is absolutely ruining me. Like yesterday.
Yeah, it's funny. Yesterday was really bad. I will say that. I don't want to give a pass on it. I mean, he had the assists in the multiple matches before. One was cheeky because it took a deflection, but he still puts the ball in tough spots. We've talked about it before. He feels to me like the perfect right wing back, right midfielder, whatever, the right-sided player. If you have a striker like Isak who cheats and gets across the 6-yard box and is always in the penalty area. I've been critical of Ekitike at times that he's not in the box enough for my liking. And I think if he changes that mentality, it could be a big improvement for him, for Mo, for all the people trying to get him the ball. That said, it's just not in Florian Wirtz's mindset to make little runs to the front post. And at times I did feel like Frimpong got caught between picking out Wirtz or looking for just throwing it to a dangerous spot. As we've said before, it's not always their job to pick someone out. Sometimes it's your job to F and be in the right place.
Right.
And that just didn't seem to happen. But that one where he can shoot and he can just take the ball, try to go to the opposite post. And I like the unselfish play at times. And if it's a perfect ball to Florian Wirtz and he, nets it, past the keeper, passes it into the corner, we're all heralding the star and Frimpong. But in that spot, I think they had 3 guys in the box and 2 defenders. Just rip it across the keeper, make him make a save. Maybe he pars it out. It goes right to Gakpo. Maybe it goes out for a corner.
Exactly.
Maybe he throws it in his own goal. It bounces off Gabriel's fat face. I don't care. Put it on net.
Where Liverpool had the chance with Bradley, where it's a mix-up at the back with the keeper and Saliba, and then we don't test the keeper. And listen, I'm being super nitpicky and things like that, but what you've just said there, we just don't know how that could affect Raya going forward if Liverpool do flash one across the box and he tips it to one of our strikers. And I just feel like, I don't know. Listen, Liverpool were great. I don't want to be negative because Liverpool were great. And again, I do have a lot of sympathy for the manager, as much as I, don't like him in that sense. But I do have a lot of sympathy for him because it's now January the 9th and Liverpool haven't made a signing. And he's looking at his bench going, I can't really do Train Ione. I can't really do Lucky. I've got 2 keepers on the bench. You know what I mean? It's like, it's nowhere near good enough, Gal. So I do feel sorry for him in that sense. It's clearly what he thinks about Rio and Chiesa. It's quite been known about Chiesa for 18 months now, of what he thinks about Chiesa. And then, Rio's a 17-year-old kid, so the manager hasn't got a lot of options on the bench, and he's had to do what he had to do yesterday. There was probably only one sub he probably wanted to make yesterday, which would have been Curtis Jones. But he's probably fucking thought to himself on the 70, these lads are completely fine, they're on top. I could make a sub here and kill them. Do you know what I mean? As much as I thought Gravenberch was dead on the 80th, I thought he couldn't run. But again, that's me. It's me nitpicking. It's a positive point, and hopefully again, we can kick on and fucking see some performances and some goals again.
I forget exactly what you had said earlier, but you had made a comment. You had rambled off 3 qualities, whether it was fight, endeavor, and brains. It made me giggle because, the old Meatloaf song, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Well, the left back surely has 2 out of 3 because that son of a bitch has got fight and urgency. The brains are
first 15. First 15, yeah. He was.
But I'll tell you what, when you are 21, we always say, to be fair, when you're 21, you got to learn, and he's learning on the job at the biggest club he's ever going to play for in his career. Let's be real. He is not going to another level. I don't think they're going to ever have the Hungarian helmet at either Barcelona or Real Madrid. He has met the top level. And when you get done a couple times early in a match by a player like Saka, and you're in that match because you played well earlier in the year against Saka and Madueke and and Madueke, and Robertson did struggle last year, with Saka's pace at times. And let's be real, Saka's a type of player that if he thinks he has you on toast, he's going to keep coming at you all match long. And he had that mindset. And there was something about the way Kirkaz didn't get rattled. He didn't do that thing where he starts just trying to do everything in the moment. I thought actually a couple times he passed on the runner, and granted, he passed him on to Alexis McAllister, which is a scary thing. But to me, the block in the first half where Saka is doing the double swivel and he doesn't flail in, he doesn't engage, he just stays in front of him. He stays with him. And then when Saka gets the turn on him, he gets down and blocks that ball. And then it has the wherewithal to keep playing on the ground and do it in a way that isn't dangerous or a chance of giving away a penalty. I thought that Kirkez from 15, 20 minutes on was the Kirkez you bought. And there were even times he went forward and got into the attack. My issue still comes down to the fact that him and Florian Wirtz had 27 passes connected to each other, one way or the other. And Gakpo passed him the ball once when dropping the ball back. And I don't know how we fix that, to be honest.
I don't know. Yeah, I thought first 15 he struggled in the game quite a bit, but then I thought he really grew into it. And that's full credit to him. I think if you probably asked Kirkez, I think he's probably surprised about how much footy he's played already. In terms of, I think he probably thought, I'm coming here, Robertson will do 20 games, I'll do 20 games, or 25 kind of deal. And we'll be kind of switched out. But yeah, it doesn't seem to have happened that way. And and that's, but it's full credit to him, because when he came in, fella, it looked like he was running around with a pair of fucking Timberland boots on. And now it looks like, and he's played well the last 6 weeks. He looks like a bit of a player. He looks like he's found a bit of form, and he looks a lot better. And that's full credit to him. As well, he's coming to a new club. As you said, he's 21, 22, or whatever he is. He's a young kid playing fullback at Liverpool. And you're going to get roasted a few times, which is fine. By the way, I've seen Trent get roasted by Martinelli consistently. I think he's the only player who can continuously roast Trent.
And especially on the one-on-ones, he just literally, it's like he licked his lips the moment they were playing him.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though, what you just mentioned there, don't. When a winger like that feels like he's got the better out of you, he'll continue to do it. And Martinelli probably always felt like he's got the better of Trent, and he'll continue to do it and play him in those games. But no, go back to Kirkez, mate. Yeah, I mean, the Gakpo thing's interesting, because Gakpo is his left winger. It's not like he has got Luis Diaz coming in. Gakpo's his left winger. So it just is what it is. It's a problem, Gal. It is a problem. But yesterday was needs must in the second half. It was needs must in terms of how they wanted to play and how they had to do it. I still think there's a couple of times I think in the second half with Kirch's final ball wasn't great into the box as well. I think that has to improve. Again, same with Frimpong. I think their final ball has to improve. Because Gal, it's okay playing like that. But when you get your chances, mate, to get the ball into the box, it has to be quality. It just has to be quality getting into the box because you're not going to go out and create 15, 20 chances. If you're going to have 3 or 4 in a game away at Arsenal, you've got to take one. And you've got to have some quality where I know Vert isn't going to get on the end of things and, beat Saliba and Gabriel and strength and things. And I get all that. But the ball's still got to be quality where a Szoboszlai can do it, could be running in late, or a McAllister can run in late and get on the end of things. Do you know what I mean? And I thought Kirch's final ball wasn't great, but that's just me again nitpicking. But he's trending in the right direction. He really is trending in the right direction of where we need him to be. So, again, another positive. But I think, again, we can take loads of positives from yesterday, from the second half. We can take loads, apart from the biggest negative is there's just no shot on target. You can't win a game unless you're the target. Do you know what I mean? You just can't win it. So as much as we can sit there and go, Liverpool were great second half, and listen, we've still got a fucking shot. You've still got to try and win a game. Do you know what I mean? And I felt like yesterday, again, it was needs more options and all that kind of stuff so I can swallow it. But I want that performance for 90 minutes against Burnley. And I don't think we should give them any excuse. This is Burnley now, mate, who haven't won for like 14 games or something ridiculous.
Yeah, they're terrible. I mean, granted, they did go to United and find a way
to that was a
fall back twice.
That was at home. That was at
that was at home. You're right.
Yeah,
but still, they weren't
good.
They weren't good. They should have lost that match. They got their goals, and they were due their goals. They worked hard for them. And United was, brand new manager, trying a new system. They had 2 days on the training pitch. I'm not, that's not me slagging off United, and I'll slag off United any chance I can.
What I'm getting at is, though, Gal, I just don't want our expectations to drop. Like when it comes down and go, oh, well, he still hasn't got options. No. You just show me you can do it against a really good side who are probably going to win the league. Now go and do it against Burnley. Do you know what I mean? And just go and, I don't know.
I understand where you're coming from. And I kind of think that is probably where we'll just get rid of this comment right away. We don't need trash. We are all for banter. We are not for trash, and we will just kick you the F out.
But yeah, I mean, listen, again, going back to the main thing.
And just for anyone out there, honestly, you can say anything you want about us. You can make fun of our American accents. You can make fun of the idiots. You can make fun of Cozzy Scouse accent, to be totally honest. But the truth of the matter is, if you come on here, talk trash about our supporters, the people of Liverpool, or honestly, anyone suffering from food insecurity anywhere on the planet, you can right the fuck off on Friday morning, Thursday night, or Saturday afternoon. We don't need trolls. We have enough people who truly hate us to have new haters that actually just hate positive people. So, yes, and receding hairlines, completely on brand, because they are 100% shared across the entire channel. All right, back to
guess what happens when you follow Liverpool, Gal, innit? When you follow Liverpool, the air gets further back. This is the stress that they put on you.
It is pretty much what's happened, because when 10 years ago, a Facebook thing popped up of me and like 3 other couples, all on New Year's Day.
Yeah.
And the joke was holy shit, can you believe we were all out 10 years ago together? And then we all looked at the pictures, and like 4 of our friends have not aged a single bit. I'm not kidding when I tell you Timuchin can age anyone, because I look 20 years older and I've only been involved with him for 5 of those 10 years.
That's the rule, man. It's fucking hard work. But no, again, it is what it is. Liverpool, it's a really good performance, second half, and I want us to kick on now, Gal. We have a big game against Barnsley, whether people want to say it or not. I think it's a big game. I really do. I think Liverpool should be concentrating on the trophies. We're not going to win the league. I still think we'll finish in the top 4. If it's top 5 this season, I'm not sure about the Champions League. It depends on the European performances of the English sides. But I do think that the Barnsley game is a massive game, and I want to see.
Yeah, I wanted to get there. So let's transition over to the FA Cup. What we think of it, how we go about it. So let's talk about the lineup, right? We've always talked about you back into lineups. I don't believe the manager thought about Barnsley and then picked his Arsenal lineup because I think he basically had two choices to our points. But he did think about some of it. He thought about, based on who I have today, what does Monday look like? So let's start at the back. We both thoroughly expect Mamardashvili to start this match, and he deserves it, right? He's waiting his time. He's doing his job. You just play him and you put Woodman on the bench, right? You tell Ali to stay home and keep his feet up.
Yep. Mamardashvili, Ramsey, right back.
Yep.
Joe Gomez. I would be starting Nalo. I don't want to see another centre half. We can't afford a Van Dijk or a Canate injury.
I would start Nalo or Lucky, whichever one. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting that the Lucky kids made the bench the few times. Now, I wonder if that's because he can give you a little right back. He can play left or right center back. Like for a while, maybe he was more versatile, or maybe they know that the way Nalo is, he's a little more rash. They're a little more nervous. And when you only have two fit center backs, you can't really have a walking red card, be your only sub. So you're starting, and then I'm assuming you're handing Robertson the start at left back and the captain's armband?
Yes, I am, yeah. The reason why I'm so kind of, what is it? Not negative towards it. I don't know how much Owen Beck can do. So I don't know if you want to just do 45 for Robertson first half and then maybe a bit of Owen Beck. I'm not sure how fit he is. Or Owen Beck first half and Robertson second half or whatever to see the game out kind of deal. The one thing that Liverpool haven't got to worry about, mate, there's no replays. So it's not like you need backup lads on the bench because you've got to win the game now because you've got an third round replay to go and contend with. Do you know what I mean? There's no more replays. So you don't really need to have the backups on the bench. And Liverpool should still have enough to, win the game, in my opinion. So, yeah, Robertson, let's say. And then your midfield, is Endo fit? I have no idea. Is Endo fit, mate?
This is what I keep wondering. I mean, I kind of feel like the midfield is Jones, Neone, and another player. If Endo's fit, I have to imagine he plays, but we haven't even seen him on a bench or heard about him. So if he's not fit, and obviously we found out again, Bajcetic had another setback and will be out longer injured, which, I mean, let's be real. He's not really an option anyways.
I don't know.
Well, I'm not playing. I wouldn't even really, I would not put Gravenberch. I wouldn't put Gravenberch or Szoboszlai even on the bench. I really wouldn't. I know that means lots of kids. I just feel like you gotta probably. I mean, do you do Frimpong again somewhere and play in one of these diamonds? It feels very much too much a gamble with Bradley's injury. Yeah, that's why I got to see 60, 70 minutes out of Ramsey, and maybe then it's another kid coming in behind him. Do you pull one of the kids out of the midfield from the academy and just start them? It is a big call for the manager at that third midfield position.
Well, how serious are you about winning the game? How serious are you? So, is it serious about getting the rest? I'm okay. If Endo's out and then, Curtis Jones will probably play because Endo's out. I'm okay with him doing that. Is it Balagizi or something? That Balgazi? He's played before, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So just get him in. We can sit here, go right, and what that game on against Arsenal has proved that the manager is just going to give all those lads a rest who played. They're just going to give them all, you know what I mean? So
especially when he plays them as long as he did in the match, and I mean, I guess top of the tree, we expect Chiesa, Rio, and maybe the kid is it Morrison again, or what was it? Is it Cone Doherty maybe? Which one gets the right wing? He did Morrison last time, and we were not impressed.
No, he was poor. But again, I fucking hell. I think he does Chiesa up front. I think he does Rio left wing, and then probably like your Morrison maybe. I don't know how fit Jayden Danns is.
I think Danns is still out. This is where you really wish Danns was fit because when you watch Gabriel Jesus come on yesterday, and I'm not the biggest Gabriel Jesus fan, there was a period when he was at City, I thought, man, this guy looks the business. He was the movement. The injuries have really hurt him. The ACLs, you can tell. He lost that little bit of quick twitch pace he had.
Where's your K Gordon fella? Is he still knocking about it?
I think he's hurt again.
Jesus Christ.
That would have been the one I would have thought of as well. This is where you miss Danns, though, because if you had that third striker that's just practicing with the first team and scoring boatloads of goals against kids he's bigger and stronger than at the 19 and 21 levels, then you could bring him into this match, say, it's all yours, kid. You're starting this. We're playing Chiesa off the right, Rio on the left. The Morrison, I don't know about the Will Wright kid that played a little bit in the season. I don't know if he's fit. Like, this is the problem. It just feels
they
have too many risks there.
They have a lot of high hopes for that Oakley Connier kid, don't they? They have a lot of high hopes for him as well, don't they? So maybe in a few minutes. The one that's going to kill me, Gal, if it happens, is if they play the Gabriel Cesse's son. I am going to be heartbroken because I'm going to feel like as old as shit.
Yeah.
So that will make me feel sick inside. I will die inside. If Cesse's son makes a debut in 2026, I will cry my eyes out to sleep. But no, listen, again, if that lad can play, great. It'd be brilliant for him and his family, of course. But Liverpool, it's as much as it's an important game. Barnsley are 17th in League One, fighting relegation. Barnsley don't want this game as much as anyone. Do you know what I mean? Barnsley just want the money out this game. Barnsley will probably make a few changes.
Yeah, so, I actually expect them to rotate as well, to be honest.
So do I. And again, they've got bigger things to worry about. They want the money, and they're going to get the money no matter what side they pick. So it's fine. I just feel like, but Liverpool, I don't know where you're at with the FA Cup this season, Gal, but I think it's an extremely important trophy for Liverpool to try and win. You're not going to win the league. The Champions League is always difficult. You can get knocked out by a good side like PSG. They can beat you. That's fine. And I just think the FA Cup is a massive, massive trophy this season. I think if Liverpool, and especially the manager, I think it's very important for the manager to sit there in May and go, I had all this shit happen to me in the season. You guys didn't back me with certain players and all this kind of stuff and injuries. And Isak broke his leg and it was Ekitike's first season. He got injured when it was actually the German fucking break. So he's probably getting used to that. And same with Florian Wirtz and all this. But then if he walks in with the FA Cup in those discussions and goes, but I still won this, along with his Premier League title, I think it really helps the manager.
I won this. We got to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. We finished in the top 4 or 5 again. And we won this trophy to show you that we play together and these guys didn't quit. I do think a piece of silverware is important. We've seen it on the good and the bad, right? We saw Ten Hag win that meaningless FA Cup, and then the joke be that City allowed him to win it just so they wouldn't get rid of they wouldn't get rid of Ten Hag. I could see that being a big play. I do think playing when you don't know where your extra matches are going to come and you do want to see more from this squad, I do think he's being challenged between now and the end of the year for his job. We've been saying this. He needs to improve the performances. I think he also probably needs to show. I think Bickler a little earlier was talking about Rio. It was a big quote at the time, so I didn't bring it up, but I'll summarize it in classic Bickler format. If you're old enough, if you're good enough, if you're good enough, you're old enough. And in his eyes, Rio is good enough, or at least good enough to be competing with this side right now with what they have available.
He has a big 90 Monday, Rio, doesn't he? He has a really big 90.
I think it's because he has to show that he doesn't look like he thinks he's playing against a League Two side. He has to show that he can fit in with other top class players and play in a system and not come on. I hate saying these words, but it is true. When you're 16, 17, you come on against Newcastle and you get an absolute free pass. You're just told to run around and make chaos happen. It's kind of the Darwin Nunez thing. Like, no matter what you do, you're going to look good because everybody watches it. To your point a moment ago, like, holy F me, how is this kid 16 and playing at St. James's Park? Like, I would have crapped myself. I would have stood on that touchline, looked up at that.
It's some finish. First time.
It's a great finish, and he plays well. The cameo he gets after that, he plays well. What is it? Burnley, he comes on at the end and he helps create the ball.
Leeds at home a few weeks ago when he comes on. 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, puts a couple players on toast. Nobody wants to be embarrassed by a kid either. That also is a hard one. But you're not the best 16-year-old in England playing against 18-year-old kids anymore. Now you're a young player at the club trying to find a way to get first team football. And you don't do that trying to make YouTube highlight reels. You do that grafting and tackling and tracking a runner back. And I hope we see that because I haven't seen a lot of that yet.
But there's also a part, mate. It's a huge game. You're playing against a team who was 17th in the league, in League One. You need to be the best player on the pitch. If you're as good as what you think we all think you are, you have to be the best player on the pitch. And I'm not asking you to go out and be Ronaldinho, but I'm asking you to look like the biggest threat on the pitch at least. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you score 2. I'm not asking you to go out and score hat tricks. It doesn't work like that. Football doesn't work like that. But you have to look like a big threat when you get the ball. So The only way he plays himself into being an option, gal, is fucking being the best player on the pitch against Barnsley. And we all sit there on Monday night and think, oh, we've got a player here, you know, he has to get more minutes and all that. And you've got to force yourself into the manager's conversation. Do you know what I mean? And I just think it's a big game for them, mate, because Liverpool are going to have the fourth round of the Cup, hopefully, coming up in the start of February. You do have Burnley at home. Let's be frank, if Liverpool train up on the on the hour mark, I'd like to see Rio get the last 30 minutes. I think we'd all agree with that. The one thing Liverpool haven't had this season, gal, is fucking Liverpool being 3-0 up on the hour mark, where you can't make changes. Liverpool have been in games too long. We're in game every single game. We're into the last kick of the game. That can't keep happening. It cannot keep happening. You'd 2-0 up against Leeds. Brilliant. Fucking professional performances. Then your centre-half does something ridiculous and makes it a game of football. And so those type of moments, gal, where you could bring them on, that's kind of taken away from you in aspect. I just feel like he has a big game there, mate, coming up. And I see the comments as well. And I know you just brought about the Pep thing, where he didn't win anything last season. That's completely right. But Pep did get to the final of the FA Cup and tried to win it. Of course. Do you know what I mean?
And they have been, you know, there are times where you're allowed an off season when you won 20-something trophies in 8 seasons, and 8 leagues.
And in 22, 23, yeah, so whenever that was. But anyway, in that season, Liverpool just had massive injury problems all over the field. I think the midfielders' legs fell off. In the Klopp's last season, we had injury problems all over the field. Luis Diaz's dad gets kidnapped, and Liverpool still finished third on the same amount of points that Arne got when they won the league. I'm not taking anything away from Arne, but that's the fact. So
no, these things are what happens. This is something I heard the other day on a show, so I'm not taking credit for it, but it's the truth, right? In 30 years' time, 30 years from now, people are going to talk about the Pep Klopp competition in the 5-year run where both sides win 95 points in every season, but one each, and both get 1 or 2 titles out of it. And Liverpool will be talked about as one of the greatest sides ever in English football, and they only won the one. I mean, they got 99 points and didn't win a league. Like there's a special moment there. And I think when people try to compare these seasons, you have to really look at what is comparable. And sometimes it is the team that's pushing you. Like, I think Liverpool could have got closer to the 88 to 90 points last year had Arsenal or City pushed them a little further as the season went on if they needed to. Yeah. And that's, again, not an excuse. Let's not go back into the last 4 games. I did want to touch on one thing before we talk a little transfers, maybe talk a little bit more about league stories that are happening. I want to get your opinion on the managerial changes, what the table looks like now and what it means. But before we do that, we'd be remiss not to talk about Bradley and at the same time the scumbag. You were like me. This side can't take a red card. But to be honest, if Woodman had come off the bench and just cleaned him out, I would have been like, build that man a statue. I genuinely, like, if Darwin Nunez was still here, he might have been in street clothes on the bench because they don't want to pay him and pay that fee to Benfica. But he comes over the advertising boards and karate kicks Martinelli. And it's almost a good thing that Curtis Jones was on the pitch, because I'm pretty sure Curtis Jones couldn't have stopped himself from getting a red card. We would have almost seen like the Everton moment.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's a mistake. Of course, Martinelli's just come back for what he did and all that kind of stuff. I do think, again, it's slightly blown out of proportion. Martinelli's apologised. He put a in.
Now you have to let it go. The player has apologized and Bradley's accepted it.
At the time, Gal, I was as heated as you. I was heated. And it looks like it's probably an ACL. And if it is, and he's out for the year, you'll probably feel more guilty. I always think about this type of stuff, Gal. You don't do it away from home, do you? You don't do it away from home. Like, you always do. Yeah, these teams, like these type of people, who do it. Like, by the way, Liverpool, this kind of stuff at Anfield, but you don't do it away from home. You wouldn't dare do it on the halfway line, like, you know what I mean? Like, at Anfield, there's not a chance. Like, there'd be absolute murder. So, but what I was pleased about is the players all jumping in and ganging up. I've never been happy with the booking for Konate.
I was going to say, I thought Konate was like, when we joke about him being a big mountain teddy bear, there was no teddy bear there. That looked like an angry Frenchman. And my favorite part was, if you had them side by side and you put them in the same clothes, and they were, but I mean, like, literally like same outfit, Konate and Frimpong would have looked like the cover of Twins. Because Konate was coming for that guy's throat and Frimpong was coming for his ankles, because that's as tall as he gets. But Frimpong was the tall, like, Frimpong was ready to fight, which I love too, because that's my other right back. And in the back of his mind, he was probably like, I'm really liking playing this right wing thing. Why are you sending me back to right back, you prick?
No, wait, listen, and again, it's nice to see like the lads getting involved and getting stuck in, and I'm all right with all that fella, right? I do think it was blowing out of proportion slightly, because how bad the injury is. It doesn't look great, but again, to see the lads showing a bit of fucking fight, girl, like again, that's what you want to see. We don't expect Liverpool to win every single game, but that's not realistic. But there's certain standards that I expect when you play for my football club, and when you're a player. And a moment like that happens on the pitch, I want 11 lads around him. Apart from the goalkeeper who keeps trying to calm things down. That Ali Becker, right, mate, I adore you. You stay in your goal when the fight. Please.
I was gonna say, I don't know if you noticed, at one point, Gabriel is in Martinelli's face. Gabriel is giving Martinelli shit for like, what are you doing? Like, he almost seems frustrated because he's just done an injury similar. And he's like, what are you doing touching a player? Leave him, get out of here. And Allison's got his arm around him trying to talk the Brazilian off of, like, I'm like, stop. What are you, get in Raya's face.
This keeper is doing my head in. I love you, Ali. I adore you. I worship the ground you walk on. You're the best I've ever seen. But my God, stay in goal when there's a fight. You did it against West Ham and you tried to calm Paqueta down. And I think it was Virgil who told you to go back to your goal. We're going to take care of this.
We'll let him get sent off.
Virgil goes.
Gets out of the way.
Go and get yourself sent off. Can we just please, finally, against West Ham was the first time I've seen a bit of dark arts from my skipper. A little bit of dark arts, a little bit of understanding the moment of when he's seated. But yeah, no, Ali came over. He's had to calm it all down. I was like, no. Let these lads get sent off. Let's go down and win this game.
I get you are the nicest human being on the planet. You know, you look like you could play Jesus in the next incarnation of the movie. But can we just save that for like 5 weeks after you show up for Brazil camp? You can put your arm around him then if he makes the squad, by the way, because he probably won't because, well, they have a gluttony of left-sided attackers. Yeah. Let's take a look here at the table. It's a little crazy. See if I can't get this up. Yeah, I know. It's funny you say it. I thought the exact same thing. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, Allie, what in the hell are you doing? All righty. So the table here, guys, we're looking at. I brought up the top 8. I'll scroll down. There's a couple other teams that are on level points. It's great to see side like Brentford, even though it's not sustainable for Brentford to be in the top 5. But in this league, you never know because they are eking out, and they have the one thing that you need when you're a mid-table team. They have defensive stability at the back, and they have a striker who is confident to put the ball in the back of the net. I think Thiago right now is second in the Premier League to Haaland.
It's on the right-hand side, 16 goals he's got. I mean,
there it is. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's right. But
they don't even have a picture of him because Google didn't even believe there was a chance this would happen.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at Brentford, they score more goals than Liverpool. So, and if, you know what I mean, they score more goals than Villa. So it's not all about, digging in and things. They can score goals. They can hit you. So that's an important thing. Listen, I don't know if it's sustainable or not for Brentford. The one thing you'd say, if you look at the rest of the clubs, maybe not United because they haven't got European football, but the other teams have got European football, apart from Brentford and United in that top 8. So, yeah, I mean, listen, the only one I'm really afraid of, if I'll be honest with you, of stinging a run together is Newcastle. Because I just think Newcastle's attacking ability. I think Newcastle have 1-3 on the bounce. I think
they have 1-3 on the bounce. They've put together some good results. And I think a bigger part is it might benefit them too, is they have 2 tough remaining fixtures in the Champions League. Yeah. So there's a chance they don't even make the playoff. And in their top 5 hopes, that might actually benefit them because what they do have, though, is they have a really tough, I think they might have Chelsea in the FA Cup round.
Don't you?
And they have the 2-legged City tie for the league. So Newcastle has a tough run here in January.
Newcastle Bournemouth. Sorry, mate. Newcastle
Bournemouth.
Yeah, Bournemouth. Sorry, mate. So, But what you've just said there, mate, they play tomorrow on the 10th. And then 3 days later, they're playing City. Which is no bad
and something they got to go for because they're the holders of the title. I mean, they're back in the semifinal. You got to go for it.
They can't just keep Newcastle is still on the stage where they can't pick trophies that they want to win. You need to win every single time possible. So, and it's massive for them to retain a trophy. So Newcastle, you know what I mean? I know they got a lot of games and stuff. I'm just checking here. It looks like they've got PSV at home, which is big, but then you got PSG away. which is a tough one. But the
But you never know what does PSG need out of that match and what does it look like. Yeah. But then again, they're PSG. They can put out their second 11 and they still compete with Newcastle at home.
Yeah. But going back to this case here, mate, right? That's why I'm very annoyed this season. I really am, because I don't think anyone's got great shakes. And if Liverpool had just beat Leeds twice and beat Sunderland, we're in a completely different conversation, aren't we, of where we could be. That's an extra 6 points, and then before you know it, you're in the title race. So,
and let's not. And yeah. you could make that same argument about, maybe you don't get both of them, but give me 2 more points, or give me the 1 point that we gave away to either Crystal Palace or Chelsea on the last kick of the game. Yeah, like just that 1 point, and that to me is where even the point at, and then even though the Fulham one irritates me, because we were about to do something we haven't done in a long time, which is get 3 points from a match we had no deserving of, which is what good teams do. And then we gave that away. But a draw at Fulham, I mean, we won the league last year and we either drew or lost at Fulham. That was one of our tougher games. So you can go to Fulham and not get a result. You can go to Palace and not get a result. You can go to Chelsea, not get a result. You can't do that when you're giving away wins at home to United and Forest, and you're dropping points to newly promoted teams. I mean, teams that win the league pick up 18 points from the promoted sides every year.
Yeah. And that's where my frustrations come in, Gal. I'm not asking. I know you'll mention Palace and Chelsea, but they're 2 tough away games, and that shit can happen. But the promoted sides, if you just get those extra 6 points that you've left on the table against them, and then you kind of look at it and go, fucking hell, we'll be on the same points as City and Villa, and then you're sitting there in the back burner. You can get Ekitike back and Isak back, and we can all go from there a little bit. But listen, that's the position that Liverpool have found themselves in. It's frustrating. It's extremely annoying, and I'm annoyed as anyone. But I would say we are the best of the rest, and I don't think Liverpool have been any great shakes. I think we've been poor. But when I look, apart from probably Newcastle, they were the biggest threat. I think if you look at United and Chelsea, they look like a bag of rags. So yeah, you can see what happens.
And clearly, the manager things aren't going to help them. I think it'll help United a little bit emotionally on the side, right? Like when I say emotionally on the side, I just mean it'll give their supporters something to genuinely try to hang their hat on, and something to give them false hopes, probably an unfair, probably makes it a little bit too it's probably a little too negative. But whether they bring in Michael Carrick, whether they bring back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if you're gonna bring back Solskjaer, why wouldn't you just stick with Fletcher?
Should we talk about them? I think this is fucking brilliant.
We have to.
I mean, we have to, don't we? And I kind of said a few things last night on the Thursday show, which might get traction, I'm not sure, but I'll say it again here. How the nerve of these managers to come in to a team and just go, these are all shit and I need 16 players. I just find it absolutely bizarre. And there has to be a point, Gal, where these managers, like your Amarins, or not even really Maresca, but especially Amarin, I'm talking about United here more than anything. Lad, you can't come in, say this is the worst United team in the history of Manchester, and then wonder why you can't get a tune out of them. Like that, you can't think that's like a thing. And then you have the nerve to sit there and go, oh, I need all these new players because all these are crap. There's a part of this, Gal, and this is where I'm taking sides of chief execs, which is very unlike me.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this is basically Cozzy siding with the man and the money man.
But because I just find it fucking bizarre that you can walk in and go, I can't improve one football player. You can't. You're a coach. You're meant to improve one of them. Whether again, Gal, whatever you think, whatever I think about Arne Slot, he walked in and got a tune out of Ryan Gravenberch and made him great, and that's good coaching. Do you know what I mean? That's a part of the job. You can't just walk in and go.
You could argue he convinced Diaz to do different things too and play different positions and got a tune out of him that maybe we hadn't seen in the past or we didn't know was possible.
And you'd argue that he probably got Cody Gakpo's best season out of him, and he had 10, 12 goals overall. And Mo Salah had his most productive season in terms of goals and assists combined to win Liverpool the league title. So you've got to go in and improve some of the current players. You've got to go in and look like you can tactically kind of get the best out of what's there. You can't walk into a team who spent £1 billion or 2 billion quid on players, and about 8 of them are on over 100 grand a week, 10 of them are on 100 grand a week, and you go, these are all shit, I hate them all.
Well, what's crazy too is he took their best player and Bruno Fernandes and made him worse by dropping him deeper on the pitch, and he took their literally the player that the young player that they were talking about building the future of United around a year before, who literally put in one of the best performances for England anyone's seen when Kobe Mainu played that in the Euros at 19 years old. He looked like he was taking the step forward. He basically almost sent him. I swear they fired the guy to convince the young players, you don't have to leave Man United. We're going to go get your coach that plays a 4-3-3. But that's shame on the board for even appointing him in the first place at the time they did.
This is the other part of this. So this is also on the board, because you must have sat there with this manager and said, what do you fancy, what do you need? Like, but the manager must have said something to them, go, well, I can get a tune out of 7 of these. I won't need many. He hasn't improved a footy player. So why would they, as the money men, go, you haven't coached one footy player to make them better, one. And you want me to go out and get all your signings and players. And by the way, the signings you have made, you haven't improved. I would argue Patrick Dorgu is just an okay footy player. He's fine. He is a fine Premier League player. Is he brilliant? No. Has he improved them? Probably not. Has he improved Kuna? No. Kuna's just Kuna. Has he improved him? Wemo. By the way, these are his signings that I'm saying. Has he improved them? No. Has he improved Sesko? He's probably made them worse. So the argument is that you can sit there. You've got to put something on the table to go to these money men and go, I can show you what I can do here tactically and improve certain players that were already here. And now I need this. You can't just sit there and go, these are all shit. That's not feasible. It's not realistic. Again, the Arne Slot situation, the Jurgen Klopp situation is brilliant. He walks in and goes to Bobby Firmino, you're not playing left wing anymore, you're playing up front. And he turns into one of the best in the world. He goes to James Milner and Henderson and these type of players, and he gets tunes out of them. But I just feel like now, Gal, in modern coaching, there's just no coaching, if you understand what I'm saying. Like, there's no trying to improve people that are already there. Like, there's just zero. They don't want no part of it. Like, they're not trying to get tunes out of these. I don't know. Yeah. Am I missing something?
Well, I also think there's part of it is I think these players actually think like they don't need these guys as much as maybe they did in the past. I do think there was a time where they looked at their coach.
You got to get them on side, Gal.
Like a bigger, figure.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I think like we've heard the old stories, right? Like Alex Ferguson showing up to clubs and being like, go home. Like literally showing up and telling people to go home. There's a different time and a different world. They had different power.
Gal, I get all that. One sec, I get all that.
And you don't know, yeah.
But you've got to get players on side. Then you've got to get some players to play for you. It's okay isolating some players. That's no. I always say this about managers and shit like that. It's okay to isolate a player or two to make sure like you're getting your presence felt. But you can't sit there, and walk into Manchester United, who've spent billions of quid, and go, I don't like any of these lads. You've got to go and improve someone. You've got to go and go, see what I've done with 3 or 4 of these lads where they've really went to a different ceiling, a different level. Yeah, well, I want to go and get 3 or 4 more of those lads. But you've got to put something on the table. For example, 1 second, if Arne Slot finishes 4th last season, do you think they sign £100 million on Wirtz? Do you think they go with Isaac and Ekatike? No, but look, Arne Slot's walked in with the league title and Ryan Gravenberch and that, Diaz and players like that and McAllister and went, I've improved all these are the league title, I want this. And they went, well, yeah. But there's no modern coaching, Gal. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent here.
No, I'm not. I don't disagree with you.
Who's improving footy players though? Who's improving them? Like, you've got to go in and improve a player that's there. You can't ask for 25 lads. It's not sustainable. I don't know, mate. I'm just finding it really weird that literally, if I look around the league, there's about 7 managers in the league who actually improve footy players, who try and improve them.
What's funny is the guy from Brentford got all the shtick from going from being a set piece coach to a head coach, but it looks to me like he's getting a different tune out of Thiago, out of Shada.
Henderson. What a great Henderson is. He's brought him in.
Collins looks like he could be a top 5, top 6 center back. And I think that guy deserves a lot of credit because everyone said, when Thomas Franks leave, it'll fall apart. I feel like they're a little less defensively strong, but they're a lot better going forward. And they look a more balanced side with a better chance to have a good season.
I couldn't agree more. And I love Thomas Frank. But Thomas Frank has shown me nothing at Spurs where I can look and go, but I can see what he's doing with those players. Like, you've got Kolo Muani, Xavi Simons and stuff like that. You've got to fucking get a tune out of these lads. They're great players. Like, I just look and go, I know Roy Keane's kind of going viral a little bit for what he said on Sky last night and things like that. And we'll get back to the bigger United thing. I'm talking about coaching right now. His idea of Eddie Howe is not, it's actually probably a brilliant idea. Because Eddie Howe's walked into Newcastle and got a tune out of Dan Burn. Do you know what I mean? Like, literally a player that he got laughed at when he was going to Newcastle. Like, why are they signing him? And he's got a tune out of him. And now he's a legend because he scored in a cup final for them. And he's a Newcastle boy. He's got a tune out of these type of players like Fabian Schär and players like that who have been knocking about for years, Gal. They've been knocking about for years in and around the Premier League. No one took a punt on them, and he's got a tune out of them. Do you know what I mean? He's got a tune out of Harvey Barnes. When they go down, he took a chance on Harvey Barnes from Leicester. Brilliant. I just feel like, you know, we're at this stage, Gal, where there's just no coaching anymore. Do you know what I mean? And look at United, brilliant. You mentioned the Solskjaer situation. It's hilarious. And I get all that. I read something yesterday that Darren Fletcher asked Alex Ferguson's permission to be the manager of the football. I said this yesterday, and it's going to be a bit crude, and I don't care. The best thing that ever happened to Liverpool Football Club was telling Bill Shankly to fuck off. It's the best thing they ever said. For people who don't know, for the newer fans, Shankly, you know, retired from his position, didn't want to be the manager anymore, but he was still coming to the training ground. And Liverpool were having few iffy results, and Liverpool told him to stay away. Liverpool went, you can't keep coming, you're done. And it really affected the relationship for a few years between Shankly and Liverpool. And Shankly famously said he got accepted more at Everton than he did at Liverpool. He famously said this, right, along those lines at least. Mate, the best thing I can do, mate, you've got Alex Ferguson sitting there like the Godfather, and Darren Fletcher's got to go in and kiss his ring and go, can I be the manager, please? Is this for real? Is this real? If I said to you, Gal, there's a fella who hasn't managed since 2013, and he's literally making all the footy decisions still, you'd look and go, at any football club, you'd go, what the hell is going on? Forget that's Manchester United and it's this like big, you know, hoo-ha of a football club, which it is. You just need to tell Alex Ferguson to go away. Just stop coming. You don't need to be around this anymore. Like, you've got Darren Fletcher going in asking permission to be the manager. Is this for real, Gal? Am I in like a twilight zone?
No, I mean, you mentioned the Roy Keane comment. You know, he made the comment that, you know, I think it was
hanging around.
You still got Alex Ferguson hanging around like a bad smell. I mean, I know it's easy to hate Roy Keane the player, Roy Keane the leg breaker. Roy Keane the pundit makes me laugh. I'm sorry, because
he's funny.
He takes and he takes on all sides, and he loves to take on United, which is something that always makes me laugh.
He hates United more than anyone. He's brilliant.
If he wasn't so vocal, I could imagine them going to him and saying, "You want to come in?" Because you want to talk about getting the supporters up in a rile, though. Let them listen to him because his press conferences would be must listen. I mean, they would literally just be him telling you how shy everybody is and how he put on boots in practice the other day. And you know, Ugarte asked not to play because he wanted to have 2 ankles at the end of the practice. But I wanted to ask you this before we jump off Amram and we wrap this thing up, a couple transfer rumors. Will Amram ever coach in the Premier League again? I feel like I don't know that he will, because I think he has to go to another league and rebuild his rep. And I think he's realized he probably doesn't fit in with English media.
He stinks of West Ham money. I know he had that.
That was where he should have went in the first place.
I know. He stinks of a West Ham, just taking a weird chance on him where he just goes somewhere for 6 months. But I think he'll go and rebuild somewhere. And by the way, I still think he'll be a half decent coach somewhere.
We talked about it. He had to get out of there. This was him begging to get fired before his star dimmed even more.
I know, mate. And again, I just feel like he's just a weird person, but he's young. He's very, very young, and he'll come back and probably have a great career somewhere. Getting fired at United and Chelsea doesn't mean anything to your actual coaching career. You can go out.
Where does United go post Ollie at the wheel?
I don't think they can go far away from being Eddie Howe. If it is Eddie Howe, I think that'll be actually a really scary appointment in terms of I actually think they can make them a competent football team. But I've just got a feeling that they might try and be the smartest men in the room, when sometimes the obvious decision is looking you right dead in the face, and you go to Newcastle at the end of the season and you go, "Hey, can we take Eddie Howe?" basically, and you can have that conversation. I think they probably end up someone weird. And when I say someone weird, I mean, you look at the Arne Slot situation where it wasn't the most popular choice, but of course it's worked in terms of winning the league title. I've got a feeling they might just do something a bit mad like that.
So they're just going to basically go hire the Nice manager because the owners own both clubs?
Or the Bologna manager, he's doing all right to Serie A, someone like that. Do you know what I mean?
That would actually make sense. The Nice manager was more a joke because of the Rossinier appointment for 6 years coming out of Strasbourg. If I was Strasbourg, I'd be... if I was a Strasbourg supporter, I would be disgusted with what just happened.
Yeah, I mean it's tough, mate. Like, listen, and the Liam Rossinier one, mate, they needed a yes man. They've got a yes man in terms of a manager of what they want to do in terms of the chief execs making decisions. The massive positive, and I want to mention it, I think it's important. I think it's great to see a black fella be a manager of a top 4 footy club and top 6 footy club.
I think that absolutely shouldn't be overlooked, and the fact that he's English as well, and he got a raw deal.
I think it's the first time since Ruth Huller.
And he got a pretty raw deal from what I heard. He wasn't great at Reading, but they loved him because the players loved him and they fought for him. And when they let him go, there were talks there that his race had more to do with it. If results weren't the only reason, how he fit in with the club and the culture. He did a nice job at Strasbourg. Yeah. But then again, I would question, they miraculously lost their last 3 matches of last year when they only needed to secure 2 points to guarantee Champions League football, which would have eliminated Chelsea. So was he already doing the parent club's work? And this is why I hate the multi-club ownership. I think UEFA has to figure out, if you're going to allow these guys to own multiple clubs, then maybe you have to figure out a way that allows them to play in multiple competition, play in these competitions together.
Liverpool want it, don't they? That's why
they all want it. It's obviously coming. So we didn't get to the transfers, Cozzy. There are some reports coming out that Palace is willing to lower their fees, that it come under 30 million even, and the deal might be able to be done for Mark Gahey this window. I think Palace is nervous that they're languishing bottom half of the table and that they may not even make it out of the Europa Conference League. And if they don't at least consider these sales, are you putting 30 million on the table, even if it means waiting till the 20th of December to secure Mark Gahey, or would you be circling, trying to find Collins, trying to get a player out of another club? Now, we all know they need multiple, but I don't think we believe they'll buy multiple center backs in January. No. Are you sticking with Gahey as the Liverpool way of get your guy, or would you twist at this point and just, I hate to say it, get me a warm body, because you may be 2 or 3 this year, but you could be 4 or 5 next year, and that is just fine with us?
This is tough, man. I actually think it's verging on neglect at the moment with Liverpool centre-half, and you needed a centre-half in August because you tried to sign one. Then Leone gets injured. Then Joe Gomez picks up another injuries, and by the way, you also know what you're getting out of Joe Gomez. And then for Liverpool to not have a centre-half on January the 1st is verging on neglect. It's verging on naivety, which I don't think they are naive people. Now, if it's Mark Gahey, you have got your Champions League hopes on the line this season in terms of qualifying for the Champions League. It will cost Liverpool a lot more than 35 million if Liverpool don't finish in the Champions League spots. And 100%. Now, I'm not saying the signing of Mark Gahey guarantees it, but you are happy with that money in August. Whether he's got a year left or not, you should be happy with that money again, if it is that. The only thing that might have opened up for Liverpool is the Oliver Glasner to United conversation in terms of the summer. That could have happened, but they could have had that conversation already. And Glasner's probably went out, I want to see my season out and see what's happened. And then Palace is just going to say, well, fuck it, then we're ripping it up and going to start again. And we'll just build everything around Mateta, which is completely fine. I would be amazed, genuinely, especially after Bradley getting injured yesterday and if it is out for the season, that Liverpool don't sign a centre-half. Because that will be doing this right now.
I almost feel like that had a little bit, like we saw the reports yesterday. Okay, Liverpool is looking in the summer for Gahey, where City might move forward now. Yeah. I think that was agent talk to see, can we get anyone else coming in to help the money go up? Because I think he wants out now. I think it's starting to impact him too, where he doesn't want to get to the summer and have to pick between all the different clubs. From all accounts, like I said to you jokingly, like he literally lives at home with his parents and his sister. So they all want the money. But I don't think the huge sign-on fee compared to going to the club he wants to. And I do think the injury yesterday to Bradley does change things, because now you have Frimpong playing way too many minutes and Ramsey as your only cover with just Joe Gomez as your break glass replacement. I think there's a world where Mark Gahey comes in and literally is the guy who subs Virgil if you want to give him a few days off, or you give him an FA Cup tie off. He's the guy who competes with Konate. He also can do a job for you at right back if you needed to.
He does loads.
He can do everything. And to me, it makes just the injury yesterday almost makes it so that I think they might stump up the extra cash. And from all the reports, it does sound like they're decent reports coming out that it's absolutely changed the tune, and that they think that they may test their resolve with a formal offer in the next coming days. And
well, the last thing I want to mention on this, Gal, and I think it's super important that the fans we need to realise, the World Cup's happening, If Liverpool need to sign 7 players, there's a lot of those players at the World Cup, and a lot of players just go, can you just speak to me after the World Cup? And then it's such a short window, it's a short turnaround, it's a short pre-season, and then we're in the fucking mires again in September. For Liverpool to do 2 or 3 of them now, if they wanted to, and move the other transfers that they were going to do in the summer till now and build them up ready for next season, then they don't need to worry about the World Cup. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that has to be in the back of fans' minds. The World Cup is happening. Players sometimes don't like to get that disrupted, especially the players at the top nations who want to try and win the World Cup.
He's a player who's going there. He's a player who's going there is most likely going to be the vice captain of the betting favorite.
The number one centre half in Mark Gahey. And then if Liverpool want to go and sign again, like a big Dutch player or a big someone like that, then Liverpool have to kind of, it wouldn't be a bad idea for Liverpool to go and move a couple of transfer targets forward to January, and then you're leaving yourself not a lot to do in the summer when it's a shorter window.
Josh said Gahey's solid, but you're going to massively overpay for a decent center back. Feels like you can find cheaper alternatives. Where I would take a little umbrage with that and disagree is yes, you can find a cheaper player. Mark Gahey is a Champions League international level starting center back that Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Manchester City, Liverpool, by all accounts, Chelsea, Arsenal even are all interested in. So calling him overrated because he's only been able to show what he's been able to do at Palace, I think is a bit unfair. He's a little undersized, but his number in the air are outstanding. His on-ball percentages, numbers, his distribution is really, really good, and he links the lines. He looks the part of a Liverpool center back. He's classy on the ball. He has good pace. He has great technique, and he's a leader. And by the way, he's homegrown. So he ticks every single box, in my opinion, Liverpool needs. And God forbid Arne Slot isn't the man and moves on. He gives you more flexibility at the center back position if your next manager wants to change tactics. Not that we're not going to start at 1 hour and 2 minutes in the back 3 for Liverpool under Xabi Alonso, but we are going to acknowledge that there might be a different path forward. So
Liverpool, I've just signed Leone for 30-odd million. And if you talk about overpaying, that's overpaying technically in terms of what he's done. I think for 35 million for a Marquez, he's actually close to a snip. I actually think it's an absolute steal. And what I like about him most is he's very calm. And he's used to captaining Palace under pressure circumstances, including the FA Cup final, and showing that he can do it. And when you're a centre-half at those close, they're the kind of traits that I like to see out of centre-halves, is calmness, and can you handle the pressure? Because when you play for Liverpool Football Club, the pressure is insurmountable. And you see,
and I think it's a good point though of what you make too about the calmness, the leadership. The other thing is we talk about it being different at this club with the connection, the character of a player. The character he showed on September 2nd to show up and not kick up after doing a social media video. Like literally, I think that is honestly I think that's a testament to the player, to the man, to the family man he is, to the roots. I know he's got his own issues with some other things that some Liverpool supporters groups have problems with. I don't have a problem with it because he stands up for himself. I didn't have a problem with Mane said those things. I will not going to have a problem just because the guy's English. So we'll get out of here on this quick prediction. Barnsley Monday final score.
3-0 Liverpool.
3-0 Liverpool advance.
Yeah.
All right. For Gally and Cozzy, everyone in the chat, thank you so much. For the piece of shit who showed up earlier, you're gone, and we won't see you again. We'll be back next week, Friday, talk about the Barnsley match, preview next weekend's match. It'll be Burnley. It'll be ugly. It'll be a low block. Get used to it, people, but up the fucking Reds.